The air hung heavy. Salvatore Luciano inhaled deeply. This was his kingdom, a graveyard of forgotten automobiles. Twisted metal and shattered glass were scattered as far as the eye could see. Each piece held the echo of a story, a life lived and lost. This junkyard, nestled in the underbelly of New York City, was where Sal felt most alive. Here, amidst the ruins, he found opportunity. Sal wasn't just breaking down cars, he was dissecting lives. He saw beyond the dented hoods and shattered windshields. He saw the airbags, pristine and untouched, like dormant fists waiting to explode. They were his gold mine, his ticket out of this metallic purgatory. While others saw trash, Sal saw treasure. He saw a city teeming with cars, each one a potential payday. He started small, just a few airbags here and there. Word spread like wildfire through the labyrinthine underbelly of the city.
Sal, the airbag whisperer they called him. He could get you what you needed, no questions asked. His reputation preceded him, a blend of admiration and fear.
One chilly December evening, a man approached Sal in the junkyard. His name was Frankie the Hook Calabrese, a known associate of the Morello family.
Frankie had a proposition, a chance for Sal to expand his operation, to play in the big leagues. Frankie saw the potential in Sal's niche market. Airbags were becoming standard, their demand skyrocketing. Insurance fraud was a lucrative game, and the Morellos wanted a piece of the action.
Sal dove headfirst into his new role. He wasn't just scavenging anymore. He was orchestrating, building a network of thieves and fences that stretched across the 5 boroughs. He had crews working around the clock, stripping cars bare in a matter of minutes. He had warehouses stockpiling airbags, a testament to his ambition and the insatiable appetite of the city.
He learned the art of negotiation, of leveraging fear and respect to get what he wanted. He knew when to show his teeth and when to extend an olive branch. He was a natural leader, his quiet confidence inspiring loyalty in those who served him. He took care of his own, ensuring they were well compensated and protected. His relationship with the Morellos deepened. They recognized his value, not just as an earner, but as a strategist. Sal had a knack for logistics, for anticipating problems before they arose. He streamlined their entire operation, making it more efficient and profitable. The family showered him with rewards, but Sal wasn't motivated by material wealth.
New York City became Sal's chessboard. He manipulated the pieces with precision, each move calculated, each sacrifice strategic. He controlled the supply chain, dictating the price of airbags and the flow of goods. He had become the unseen kingpin, his name whispered in hushed tones in the back rooms of social clubs and clandestine meetings.
He had judges and cops on his payroll, their loyalty bought and paid for. He had politicians in his pocket, their campaigns funded by his ill-gotten gains. Power, Sal realized, was the ultimate currency, more intoxicating than any drug, more addictive than any vice. He had built an empire on a foundation of stolen airbags, a testament to his audacity and the city's insatiable greed. His story was as improbable as it was audacious, a modern-day fable of ambition and corruption. He had risen from the ashes of the junkyard, a phoenix reborn in the crucible of the underworld.
The city that never sleeps was now held captive by an unseen force. The price of car ownership skyrocketed as airbag thefts became rampant. Insurance premiums soared, a silent tax levied on every driver. The authorities were baffled, their investigations leading to dead ends and whispers of a shadowy figure controlling the trade. The media dubbed him the Airbag Phantom, a mythical creature preying on the city's fears. They spun tales of his ruthlessness, his ability to vanish into thin air. He became an urban legend, his name whispered in hushed tones. A boogeyman used to scare children and adults alike. But beneath the sensationalism lay a chilling truth. The city was at the mercy of a criminal mastermind. Hospitals reported shortages of airbags for critically injured patients. The black market thrived, fueled by desperation and fear. Sal surveyed the city from his penthouse apartment. The sprawling cityscape, once a symbol of limitless possibilities, now felt like a gilded cage.
He was a prisoner of his own success. His life a tapestry woven from lies, deceit, and the blood of his enemies. He had everything he ever desired, wealth, influence, and the unquestioning loyalty of those who served him. But at what cost? His conscience, once a flickering flame, had been extinguished by the icy grip of power. He had become a ghost, haunting the opulent halls of his self-made empire. The faces of those he had wronged flickered through his mind. The innocent lives caught in the crossfire, the families torn apart by his insatiable greed. Their silent accusations echoed in the cavernous emptiness of his soul.
The first tremor of betrayal came from within his inner circle. Frankie the Hook Calabrese, once a trusted confidant, grew envious of Sal's power.
Frankie saw an opportunity in Sal's growing unease, his attempts to atone for his sins. He began to sow seeds of doubt within the ranks, whispering that Sal had grown soft, that he was losing his edge.
He painted a target on Sal's back, hoping to usurp his position and claim the empire for himself. Sal, blinded by his own guilt and paranoia, failed to see the danger lurking in the shadows. He trusted Frankie implicitly, unaware that his loyalty had been bought with promises of power and the allure of wealth.
The betrayal when it came was swift and brutal.
The news of Sal's stabbing sent shockwaves through the city's underworld. The Kingpin, once thought invincible, had been laid low. Rumors swirled like the winds off the East River. Some whispered of a power vacuum, a turf war brewing. Others speculated that Sal's reign was over, his empire ripe for the taking. Frankie the Hook Calabrese, emboldened by his betrayal, made his move. He rallied Sal's lieutenants, promising them increased profits and a share of the spoils. Many, motivated by greed and self-preservation, readily pledged their allegiance to the new regime. As Sal lay recuperating, his world shrank to the sterile confines of a private hospital room. He was cut off from his empire, his phone calls monitored, his visitors screened. The hospital room became Sal's sanctuary, a place of enforced reflection. As he lay recovering from his wounds, the gravity of his actions pressed down on him. The city's pain, the lives he had affected, the fear he had instilled, it all came crashing down, a tidal wave of guilt and regret. He thought about his father, a hard-working immigrant who instilled in him the importance of honesty and integrity. He thought about the man he once was, the young man full of dreams and aspirations. Somewhere along the way, he had lost his moral compass, seduced by the siren song of power. A profound sense of shame washed over him. He saw the error of his ways, the devastation he had wrought. He yearned for redemption, for a chance to right his wrongs. But how could he atone for a lifetime of sin? Word spread like wildfire through the concrete jungle. Sal was back. But he wasn't the same. He'd become a phantom, a whisper of his former self, appearing in back alleys and abandoned churches, always one step ahead of Frankie's men and the grasping hands of the law. He was dismantling his empire brick by stolen brick. He reached out to his old contacts, the ones who hadn't yet succumbed to Frankie's greed. He exposed the truth about Frankie's betrayal, his role in Sal's downfall. He appealed to their sense of loyalty, their conscience. Some scoffed, others hesitated, but a select few, the ones who still remembered the man Sal once was, agreed to help. His plan was audacious, a house of cards built on trust and timing. He would use Frankie's greed against him, lure him into a trap that would expose his treachery and bring the full weight of the law crashing down upon him. The final confrontation took place on a fog-shrouded pier, the air thick with the smell of salt and decay. Frankie backed into a corner, his empire crumbling around him, waited for Sal, his hand trembling on the butt of his pistol. He knew the game was up, but he was determined to take Sal down with him. "You were always weak, Sal. You let sentimentality cloud your judgment. This is a dog-eat-dog world, and you were too busy playing savior to see the knife coming. S1. It's over, Frankie. Your greed has consumed you. You've become what you always claimed to despise."
"Forgive me," he whispered, as the night exploded in a cacophony of gunfire and echoing screams.